Okay, this is Reverend Crystal Cox. This is part of Relationship Rambles and also Perfecting Humanism. So, being your best self. Oftentimes, we will pick a partner that is not the things that we may like. Okay, so say there's spiritual things. There's a whole bunch of things that you're interested in. It could be anything at all. It could be motorcycles. It could be cooking. It could be, okay, so you meet them and they're like, oh yeah, I want to learn that. I've always wanted to learn that. And so, but they're not like gravitating towards it. And so it could be at any age. And so oftentimes we, like say if I wanted to be more spiritual, or I want to have a closer connection to spirit in any way, I want to work on my writing, I want to be stronger in my body, I want to, anything that I think I want to do, I'll pick someone, and they're not there yet, but I will almost like badger them to be like, okay, you can do it, like push them to be a different version of themselves, because I know it's in their potential, and I know they mentioned they want to. And so what that is a way to go outside of ourselves and not do those things in ourselves. So instead of me getting stronger and me working on my ideas, or me maybe taking Tai Chi or exercising more, or studying certain things, or taking that motorcycle trip, or taking traveling somewhere, instead of me doing all of that, I'll pick someone with the potential that someday wants to, so that I can teach them, train them. Basically, it's kind of that theory of falling in love with someone's potential. But also what it does is it would make it so that I wouldn't be working on me. So I wouldn't be doing the traveling, I wouldn't be doing the weights, I wouldn't be doing the new programs, because, or working on, or not working, but even living my spiritual life, because my life becomes training that person to be the person I want him to be. And oftentimes people do that because they're not themselves there yet. So they're actually badgering, kind of berating, training, pushing themselves in their own mind all the time. So they've found a person to externalize it. Okay, so it's not healthy for either party, and it's a good way to be miserable because you're constantly trying to be something you're not, while you're pushing them to be something you're not. So if you're into a certain things, it could be anything, and you're living that, right? So you're really doing those things. So you're really talking your walk. Say you're into, and I'm just picking things, right? Say you're into racing boats, like those remote control boats, or into drones, or into coding, or into science fiction movies, or spiritual study, or cooking, or anything that you're into, but you're not actually doing it. So you're not living the life of doing it, but you want to. So you find a partner that says, oh, I'm interested in that stuff too. And then you work on them to help them to live that life, but you're not living that life. And so if you were actually living that life, you would have drawn to you a partner that was into those things. So it's kind of a mental thing, because we're like, oh, well, they like me, so that's all I need. Okay, so then can you someday be into this? Are you into this? Do you want to travel? Do you want to go to this location? Do you want to, and like I said, it could be anything. It could be horses. It could be swimming with the dolphins. It could be writing. It could be music. It could be anything at all. But if you're living those things, then you attract people that are living those things. But oftentimes I would find different points in my life where I wasn't living the spiritual, the metaphysical, the occult, the supernatural, the magical life that I wanted to live. I was putting my powers on hold. And so then I'd meet someone and I'm like, wanting them to be into it too. But secretly, really, I'm wanting myself to be more into it. I'm wanting to free myself so I can live that magical life. And so I meet someone who I can like externalize my own inner dialect, period. Because logically, if I was living my life, so say it's kayaking, if you're really into kayaking and not just talking about it and you're living it, you meet other people that are into kayaking. So then from there, you might have friends, you find your tribe, you might have a lover. But if we're just talking about it, or like, well, someday I want to really live a spiritual life, and so I want my partner to want that too. But you're not going to attract that kind of partner if you're not actually living that kind of life. And so it's a good recipe to be miserable, to try to, as they always say, fall in love with someone's potential, but also to be constantly trying to get someone interested in something they're not, because you're interested in it, but you're not actually living it. And so that this is just, part of, to be happy in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or anybody in your life, stop telling people what they need to do to get healthier, to get better, to get anything, and start living it. Okay, you're the example that will show them, but that will also draw people to you that are doing the same thing, instead of people which you have to badger and fix and train and teach, which actually just distracts you from living the actual life of that thing. So these are just tips to perfecting your humanism, getting rid of programs and triggers and living your best life. And it's certainly not a best life to be constantly trying to train someone to be interested in things that you're naturally already interested in but not living. All right, well, God bless you all, and I guess that's it.